Economic presence of the government. A country's strength largely depends on its economic and social development. India is a welfare state committed to the welfare and development of its people. The government also plays a very important role in the economic development of the country. The government provides security for life and also the opportunities for growth. In the past, the main purpose of the formation of government was to maintain law and order in the country, but now things have changed. The economic activities support economic growth of the country. Economic growth leads to better promotion of education and good health. Since independence in 1947, different governments have tried to improve the economic conditions of the country in different ways. Planning for progress by the government. 5-year plans. To provide better infrastructure for economic growth, the Planning Commission was set up by the Indian government in 1950. Plans were initiated to accelerate the pace of economic development. It has developed 5-year plans for the economic development of the country. So far, 12 5-year plans have been completed. At the end of every 5-year plan, the Planning Commission evaluates its achievements and its shortcomings and then chalks out the guidelines for the next 5-year plan. Keeping the goals in view, the Planning Commission has tried to mobilize the resources to the best possible extent. Planning Commission has encouraged development both of the public and of the private sectors and has established a balance between them. The different 5-year plans have gone a long way in bringing about social and economic development of the country by making the best use of the country's resources. Development of various multipurpose projects by the government. India has huge water resources in the form of rivers. Various river valley projects were set up on major rivers to harness hydroelectricity and use the water for irrigation and other purposes. These projects serve many purposes and are therefore called multi-purpose projects. They generate electricity, provide water for irrigation, check flood and soil erosion, provide facility for afforestation, navigation, fishing and entertainment. Development for the improvement of agriculture. Agriculture contributes a lot to the national income and employment in the country. Since independence, the government has taken a number of steps to improve the condition of the Indian agriculture. Some of them are abolition of the Zamindari system. The Zamindars were great curse for the tenants, so the government abolished the wretched Zamindari system. As such, the tenants have been given the proprietary rights. To ensure equitable distribution of land, a maximum limit has been put on a piece of land which a farmer can possess. Consolidation of land holdings. Formerly, a farmer possessed small pieces of land scattered over vast areas. Such land holdings often proved quite uneconomical, so the government, after great labor, consolidated such land holdings and saved the farmers from trouble. Constructing major irrigation schemes. In order to provide full irrigational facilities to the farmers, a large number of major and minor irrigation schemes have been undertaken. Encouragement for use of manures and fertilizers. The government has set up various plants for the manufacture of different manures and fertilizers so that the soil could yield better results. Developing high-yielding varieties of seeds. In order to increase production, the government has developed high-yielding varieties of various crops, particularly wheat. Schemes to control pests, diseases and locusts. Formerly, a major part of the crop used to be destroyed by pests, locusts and diseases. The government has vigorously launched different schemes for protecting plants from pests, diseases and locusts. Modernization of agriculture. The development of different kinds of new tools and implements like tractors, harvesters, threshers, etc. have also led to the increased production, especially of wheat. They have not only saved much time but also have minimized the chances of wastage, pilferage, fire and chances of rain spoiling the grain in the open fields. As a result of these measures, the production of different food and cash crops has increased manifold. Development in the field of industry. The government has taken the responsibility of setting up many basic industries. Public sector plays an important role in the industrialization of the country. Iron and steel. When India became free, there were only two major units for producing iron and steel. Now, there are several major steel plants at Bhilai, Durgapur, Bokaro, Rourkela, Jamshedpur, Burnpur, Salam, and Bhadravati. Of these plants, those at Bhilai, Durgapur, Bokaro, and Rourkela were established after independence, while the capacity of other plants has been doubled. Heavy Engineering Corporation. Before independence, India had to import even the most simple machines from other countries. But now, the Heavy Engineering Corporation at Ranchi can make various kinds of entire machine plants for such industries as sugar, cement, paper, textile, and even iron and steel. Hindustan Machine Tools, or HMT. It has several manufacturing units in different places, such as Bengaluru, Karnataka, Pinjore, Haryana, Hyderabad, Andhra Pradesh, Kalamassery, Kerala, and Srinagar, Jammu and Kashmir, which are engaged in the production of small and medium-sized machines. HMT produces more than 1,000 watches every day. The fertilizer industry. Before independence, there was no such industry in India. In the first planned period, the government established the Sindri Fertilizer Factory. At present, there are fertilizer factories at Sindri, Nangal, Trombe, Gorakhpur, Namrup, Durgapur, Baroni, Ramgundam, Talcher, Haldia, Alvai, Cochin, Chennai, Rourkela, and Neyveli. All these factories are in public sector and help the Indian farmers to get more and more produce by using chemical fertilizers. Drug and Pharmaceutical Industry. This industry was also established only after independence. At present, we have Hindustan Antibiotics at Pimpri, near Pune, the antibiotics plant at Rishikesh, the synthetic drug plant at Hyderabad, the Hindustan Insecticides factories at Delhi, and the Indian Drugs and Pharmaceutical Limited, which manufactures basic drugs. Heavy Electricals. The Bharat Heavy Electricals Limited, BHEL, which was incorporated in 1984, has 6 units at Bhopal, Tiruchirappalli, Hyderabad, Haridwar, Jammu, and Bangalore. These units produce a large number of items for the heavy electrical industry, such as generators, transformers, water turbines, and steam turbines, etc. Minerals and oil industry. After independence, the government gave attention to the exploring, drilling, and refining of mineral oil. As a result, several oil refineries were set up at many places, such as Nunamati, Baroni, Chennai, Cochin, Haldia, Bangaigaon, and Mathura. Besides these industries, the government has also set up industries for the manufacture of defense equipment as well. Vijayant tanks are manufactured at Avadi in Tamil Nadu. Frigates and warships are manufactured at Mazagaon docks. Fighter planes like GNAT and MiG-22 are also being manufactured, besides various kinds of small arms and ammunition. Now railway equipments are also manufactured in India. Railway engines are manufactured at Chittaranjan and railway coaches at Perambur. Similarly, several industries have been set up for the manufacture of telephones, teleprinters, wireless sets, radars, and other sensitive electronic devices. In short, after independence, the government has set up several industries to make India a great industrial nation in the world. Self-employment programs. This includes Integrated Rural Development Program, IRDP, and Swarna Jayanti Gram Swarojgar Yojana, SGYS. Wage employment programs. National Rural Employment Program, NREP, Rural Landless Employment Guarantee Program, RLEGP, and Jawahar Gram Samriddhi Yojana, JGSY, are the major programs. The objective of these programs was to generate gainful employment for the unemployed and underemployed men and women in the rural areas. Employment Assurance Scheme, EAS, and the Pradhan Mantri Gramoday Yojana, PMGY, were launched in 1999 and 2000 to 2001 to create wage employment for families below poverty line and to improve the quality of life in rural areas. Social Security Programs. The Centre has sponsored 3 schemes for immediate help of the extremely needy in rural areas. The first scheme deals with helping the old age persons who are without any support. The second is meant for those families whose only earning member has expired. And the third is to support poor women in pregnancy. These schemes, especially that dealing with pension to old persons, have gone a long way in helping the old people in rural areas. Food security schemes. Different food security schemes have also been launched to help the poor. Through public distribution system, PDS, different food items are given at much subsidized rates to those persons who live below the poverty line. This scheme has gone a long way in helping a lot of people who used to remain hungry, undernourished, or malnourished due to their low purchasing power. There are about 4 lakh fair price shops throughout the country, which serve different sections of the people, especially the poor. Under the Integrated Child Development Scheme, mother and children below 6 years are given some help by providing food materials. Under midday meals at schools, children are provided free meals during the school hours. Efforts made to reduce unemployment. The problem of unemployment is also one of the most widespread problems of our country. The Government of India has planned many schemes to reduce unemployment, mainly in the rural areas. Some of the rural self-employment schemes include Integrated Rural Development Program, IRDP, Training of Rural Youth for Self-Employment, TRYSEM, and supply of improved toolkits to rural artisans, CITRA. Since 1999, all these schemes have been merged. Swarna Jayanti Gram Seva Rozgar Yojana. There are some more schemes for even the urban areas, like Prime Minister Rozgar Yojana, Urban Basic Services for the Poor, Prime Minister's Integrated Urban Poverty Alleviation Program, State Initiatives for Controlling Price Rise. If inflation or price rise is not checked in time, it can create instability in the whole economy. Hence, it becomes essential for any state to take speedy measures to control the menace of price rise. The Government of India, as well as the different state governments, take various initiatives for controlling price rise. Avoiding unnecessary deficit financing. One reason for price rise is deficit financing, when the government spends more than its earnings. If price rise is to be checked, such deficit financing will have to be checked by the government. So, often the government tries to keep its non-development expenditure within reasonable limits. Restricting disposable money income in the hands of the consumers. Easy money in the hands of the consumers results in buying spree, thereby leading to more demand and short supply, which ultimately results in price rise. In order to check the flow of easy money, the government adopts various measures. One such measure was Compulsory Deposit Scheme, whereby each employee was made to put a part of his income in this scheme. This scheme, which began in 1974, continued for a decade. This and such other schemes had a salutary effect on the price rise. Building up adequate reserves of strategic materials. In order to keep the prices under check, the government tries to maintain a reserve of certain strategic materials like wheat and rice. If for any reason there is shortfall in the production of essential commodities in any one year, that shortfall is met from the reserved stocks maintained by the government. The Food Corporation of India has done a commendable job in helping the country in times of scarcity. Public distribution system. In order to ensure a continuous supply of essential goods of mass consumption to people at reasonable rates, the government opened ration shops and started supermarkets. Such attempts by the government go a long way in checking the price rise by ensuring a regular supply of essential goods. Introduction of a system of dual marketing for controlling price rise. Sometimes the government resorts to a system of dual marketing. Under this system, certain items like sugar, wheat, rice, etc. are supplied to the people at 2 points, one at the fair price shops at a fixed rate and the other at the general shops at a price higher than that of the fair price shops. Action against hoarders, smugglers, and blackmarketeers. The government takes stern action against hoarders, smugglers, and blackmarketeers who, by their anti-social activities of withholding the sale of many essential commodities, create a scarcity. By such actions, the availability of things become quite easy, and the trend of unnecessary price rise is checked. Giving various incentives to producers to improve the supply line. One way to check the wave of price rise is that there should not be any scarcity of essential goods. In order to ensure this, the government tries to give all sorts of incentives to the producers to produce more. For instance, substantial reductions in excise duties on a number of items have recently been announced, which would lead to industrial revival and induce the producers to improve the supply of manufactured goods. If the things are easily available, the chances of price rise are much diminished. Resorting to imports if certain essential items are in short supply in the country. In order to improve the supply position of certain essential commodities, if they are in short supply in a country, the government so often allows their import. In 1995 to 96, the government allowed the import of edible oils, pulses, palmolene, and even sugar to ease the local market. Government's efforts in energy and transport sector. Energy or power resources are essential for industries, transport and agriculture. Coal, petroleum, atomic minerals, and water are the major sources of power. These resources are used to generate electricity. The National Thermal Power Corporation has set up many coal-based power plants in the country. Similarly, the National Hydroelectric Power Corporation has set up plants at various rivers for generating hydroelectricity. In the northeastern part of the country, the Northeastern Electric Power Corporation is responsible for the generation of hydroelectricity. All these organizations are in the public sector. Electricity is also being generated from atomic energy. Such plants are located in UP, Rajasthan, Tamil Nadu, Maharashtra, Karnataka and Gujarat. Transport sector. Transport sector includes land transport, air transport, and sea transport. Roads and railways are the major means of land transport. Railways were introduced in India during the British rule. These are called the lifelines of the country because these facilitate movements of people and circulation of goods throughout the country. Railways have connected distant and remote parts of the country and have integrated the whole country. Today, there exists 63,221-kilometer long railway route and 83,859-kilometer long running track, 7,817 locomotives, 228,170 wagons, and 46,119 coaches in the country. India has one of the largest road networks in the world, aggregating to about 3.32 million kilometers. The country's road network consists of expressways, national highways, state highways, district roads, and village roads. National highways are the responsibility of the central government. These comprise nearly 2% of the total length of roads and carry about 40% of the total traffic of the country. In order to boost the economic development of the country, the government has embarked upon a massive National Highways Development Project in the country, which is the largest highway project in the country. Government's efforts to provide medical and healthcare facilities. The Government of India has taken up a wide range of activities in the field of health, which includes population control, family welfare, prevention of food adulteration, drug control, immunization, and eradication of major communicable and non-communicable diseases. It has resulted in a significant improvement in the health status of the people. Plague and smallpox have been eradicated. Malaria has been controlled to a large extent. Programs for eradication of diseases like polio, tuberculosis, AIDS, leprosy, cancer, blindness, iodine deficiency, diabetes, etc., have substantially helped in the reduction of mortality rate. The government has created an extensive network of community health centers, primary health centers, and sub-centers to take care of health services in rural areas. By 1999, there were 157 recognized medical colleges and 26 new medical colleges, 15,533 hospitals, and 138 dental colleges in the country. Government's efforts for literacy and education. Literacy rates in India, 65%, are lower than in many other developing countries like China, 86%, and Sri Lanka, 92%. Therefore, National Literacy Mission was launched in 1988 to impart functional literacy to non-literates. The Total Literacy Campaign has been the principal strategy of the National Literacy Mission. The NLM has accorded priority for the promotion of female literacy. The National Policy on Education, 1986, as modified in 1992, emphasizes universal access to elementary education through Sarva Shiksha Abhiyan, SSA, launched in 2001 and 2002. National Program for Education of Girls at Elementary Level is an important component of SSA.